Hey guys, I'm Sage Valentine, and I'm back to do a quick review of Sunday's episode of CBS's Big Brother, Season 18, Episode number 19. So let's just get down to it. Davon's not a threat. She's not the biggest threat in the house. The biggest threat in the house is Paulie Calafiore, a.k.a. they're calling him Pickled Cauliflower, Pidgeotto. Man, you should go on social media to see the different names that he is being called. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of his because the way he's been treating Zakia in the past couple weeks is horrible. I see what people were talking about when they said that he was not really into her. It seemed like he was, but now I'm not even sure. And I question whether or not he truly respects her because he's basically on the feeds performing Fingergate with Zakia. It's bad enough that we have to see it with Nicole and Corey, but now we have to see it with Zakia. So if he really cared about her, wouldn't he have waited? That's the one thing that bothered me. Like, I literally got into an argument with someone on Twitter. In fact, it was someone's, or really I think it was one person with about 5 or 6 different Twitter accounts that decided to attack me because I said that Paulie had sex with Zakia, and they tried to be a little bit condescending by basically calling me 12 years old and saying, if you think that's sex, it's not sex. I think Bill Clinton has a lot of people confused about what constitutes sexual activity, because as they call it, diddling is sexual activity. So he may not have penetrated her with his penis, but it's still considered sexual activity. And it's still something that we as feed watchers were able to see, and it's something that will be taken from the feeds and put in video form and will circulate all over the internet. I don't even know why those girls or that girl or that person was even attacking me via Twitter, because I did not start any lie, and I did not lie on Zakia and Paulie. They engaged in sexual activity. It is what it is. Speaking of Paulie, Paulie is the biggest threat in the game right now. Paulie is running the game. So when Paulie says that Davon is frank, Paulie's really talking about himself. Not once has Paulie gotten his hands dirty, because for the most part, when Paulie wasn't HOH, he was running the HOHs. Right now, Victor should be pushing Paul to nominate Paulie and get him out of the house. Or at least backdoor him. But that's not going to happen this week because Paul is so enamored by this new twinsy friendship that he has with Paulie. And I do believe that Paul is at the bottom rung of this new alliance that includes Paulie, Corey, and Victor. I don't count James as a part of this because James will be gone right after Natalie. The guys don't intend on keeping him at all. And it didn't take much to persuade Paul to become a part of this backdoor deal involving Davon, because in his eyes, he says that Davon's behavior is unpredictable. How so? When has Davon ever, freaked out for no reason? I feel like these house guests are looking at Davon from season 17, and even then she had a reason to feel the way that she felt because of that situation with Clay. I don't know what's going on with Paul, but he's making a very big mistake. So now Paul is looking for a pawn, and none of the guys want to go up. James claims that he has nerve trauma. Zakia's just like, no, she doesn't want to be a pawn. But Zakia needs to do something other than sit up under Paulie, because Paulie is already planning on kicking her out. She's really got to start playing this game at this point. Nicole pops up and says she's fine. She'll be a pawn. Then Bridget comes in the room and she's checking out what's going on, and she throws Davon under the bus and says she doesn't trust Davon because of what happened with Frank, and how Davon and Nicole are always doing things, and feels like Davon and Nicole are working together. And Paul's reason behind keeping Bridget in the house after he waxed poetic about getting her out, which was a smart idea considering this chick can win a crap load of competitions if she puts her mind to it. But I digress. He claims keeping her in the house will make her owe him one. And of course, Paulie is looking out for her, so she's safe. Now, Paulie and Paul have this little... I have a sneaking suspicion that this whole twinsies situation between Paulie and Paul is Paulie's way of manipulating Paul. And when Paulie doesn't need Paul anymore, bye-bye, Paul. Quite a few people were upset that Natalie received America's care package. On a side note, that whole care package thing reminds me of the gifts given to the tributes in the Hunger Games series by the sponsors. But one thing about that whole situation in the book was that the favorite tribute could receive as many gifts as possible to help them in the game. When it comes to America's care package, that house guest can only receive that gift one time, and that's it. And I do know that Natalie was not happy about being a have-not, and that have-not pass will benefit her for this week because she won't have to be a have-not, but the other passes or gifts will help her down the line because Natalie is Paulie's next target. All Paulie does on the feeds is call her fake tits, say nasty things about her, and insult the fact that she's from New Jersey. Like he's not from New Jersey, but that's besides the point. And Corey was extremely jealous that Natalie won the America's Care package, and I'm just like, why? Everybody's gonna get a chance to win it at some point. But anyway, Nicole wanted to be the pawn. She volunteered to be the pawn, then ran to Natalie and asked Natalie to do it, and Natalie was like, no. And then woke up Natalie in almost the middle of the night and asked her if she would be a pawn, and Natalie said, heck no, I'm not going to be a pawn and a have-not. This is before she won her care package, so no. So Nicole would be safe if she went up, but she still doesn't want to do it. And Paul is upset and decides that Nicole is not strong enough to go up on the block as a pawn. Of course not. Because 9 times out of 10, Nicole would probably be the one going home. So Paul says, I need you guys to trust me, and that's when Paulie decides that he wants to go on the block, and it will ensure that Dave will end up being backdoored when he wins the veto. Not if, when he wins the veto. So in the end, Bridget and Paulie are nominated. Paulie's nominated for the POV situation, so the POV will go into the right hands. Bridget is nominated because she and Frank were the hot topic, and Paul wants to get rid of her, and the whole house is against her. That's how, or so it seems on the show, but we all know that it's Operation Backdoor Davon. Bridget says that the whole house is against her. Paul says that he wants Bridget out. Yeah, right. Right now, Paul is completely anti-Davon. I mean, if he was anti-Davon from the beginning, it would be one thing. If he was anti-Davon when he became HOH, that would be one thing. But the fact that Paulie is influencing him is so annoying. And it makes Paul look like he does not have a backbone at all. So Davon, being the perceptive person that she is, she asked the question, why is Paulie on the block if Nicole volunteered. She was like, what is going on with this HOH? Which means she picked up something's not right and she could be in danger. And Paulie wants to send Davon packing. So, all in all, this episode was okay. If Davon ends up getting evicted, I hope that she gets the round trip ticket back in, because that would really shake up the game. And when she wins HOH, not if, because she seems to be getting closer and closer to that win. A lot of people are counting her out, but she got a 19 in that HOH competition. So the next time, I truly believe she's going to win. She's going to keep it this time, and she's going to turn this house upside down. Fingers crossed that she gets that round trip ticket. If not, and she leaves, then I'm just going to have to sit back and watch as Paulie and Corey and Paul and Victor basically kick off each and every player until it gets down to the 4 of them, and then they take out Paul, and then it gets down to Paulie, Victor, and Corey, and Corey probably goes, and it'll be Victor and Paulie will probably win. I mean, the house guests have pretty much, save for Davon, who's pretty much aware of what's going on, are pretty much handing him the $500,000 because they are just worshiping the ground that he walks on. He can do no wrong. And I know that as a person sitting home watching the game, that we know more information than they do. But if they're having conversations like Zakiya and Michelle about Paulie and the boys and what they suspect is going on, then they need to do something about it. But unfortunately, Zakiya and Nicole are too busy acting like this show is Bachelor's Paradise instead of playing Big Brother, which is why neither of them is going to win. It is what it is, guys, but let me know what you thought about this episode, this season so far. And let me know who you're rooting for and who you want to win HOH this week and who you want to be nominated. I'm Sage Valentine, and I apologize for doing this late, but last night I was in the middle of watching Ray Donovan, so I was like, I'll just do the review late. I might as well, because I know I'm going to be angry once I watch the episode. And I was actually calm watching the episode. Not bad, but love you guys. Bye, guys. Bye.